Sharapova is one of the world's top tennis players, one of only 10 women to win all 4 Grand Slam titles.
All right. She's also been #1 on the Forbes list of highest paid female athletes for 8 years in a row. Thank you very much. She's getting ready for the U.S. Open next week. But this morning, she's with us in the studio 57. Good morning to you, Maria.
Good morning, bright and early.
No, we are glad to have you here. When you hear the numbers about your career, what do you think? When we were reading them and you went, oh, you laughed. What do you think?
Well, it's funny when people mention the money, because I always ask, like, how does anyone have access to your bank account? You know, who knows? Yes. And who actually believes all this stuff? You know, who's going in there and checking, oh, how much, what was that paycheck for?
Yeah, a lot
so
of
that's
people,
why I laugh about that one.
A lot of people do. You pulled out of your last 2 tournaments for illness. You had tummy problems? You okay?
Yeah, I came back from the Olympics and I was supposed to play in Montreal, but I had a bit of a stomach virus, so it's been a really busy summer, so I decided to kind of shut it down before the U.S. Open and come here a little early and start practicing. And yeah, it's fun to be back in New York. I love the energy and the city, and the U.S. Open's the funnest one yet.
I have to say, you've certainly brought energy to the green room this morning.
Yes.
I know. We had our coffee this morning. I apologize. I think we're a bit distracting.
Not a problem at all. It's been a lot of fun. Your first live morning television interview, by the way. Did we mention that at all?
No.
I think it is, right, Maria?
Yeah, well, not many people get me up at 5:30 in the morning. Yeah, that's...
Well, we are glad you're here.
CBS this morning did.
We're glad you're here.
What are you confident here before the U.S. Open?
Yeah, I do. I've had, you know, winning the French Open was such a confidence booster for me. It was the one that I hadn't won. It was the one I really wanted, and always thought was going to be the most challenging for me, and to have all those 4 was so meaningful. And obviously this is the last one of the year. We've had a crazy schedule, so to come into the Open, it's almost like this is it for the year. I mean, we still have more tournaments after that, but as far as the big one, it's the one we really look forward to.
And coming out of London, you came home with a silver medal. And
first time as an Olympian.
An Olympian. Just the fact that you make the Olympics means you're very good, and you work very hard at what you do. But
I try.
When the match was over with Serena, were you thinking, I could have done better, or were you thinking, I did the best that I could possibly do? How were you feeling after that match in particular? You
know, it's interesting because we played 6 matches within 7 days, and the opening ceremony was right before the first match. So it was one of the longest weeks of my tennis career, because it was like the excitement of the opening ceremony to every single day playing a match and getting through the rounds, and then, you know, when you win your semifinal, you know you're getting a medal, you're getting a silver at least. So the whole experience for me was incredible. It was my first time representing Russia at the Olympics, and I missed Beijing 4 years ago. So to be there and to be competing and to get a silver medal was so much fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
The draw comes out in a couple days. I think a lot of people are seeing a Serena Williams, Maria Sharapova final. Do you want to see that?
Well, we have to be on the opposite sides of the draw, obviously. But that would be fun, especially in New York. Yeah, I mean, with that energy and that crowd, it would certainly make for a fun final.
And what do you think about the proposed crackdown on grunting? You know, you're a little bit of a grunter.
I am, not a little bit.
Yes. Well, you're a heavy grunter.
I am.
So what do you think? How does that help you? And what do you think about the talk of cracking that down? That some people say it's distracting.
Right. Well, I've always had to answer that question, because it's always been a topic, especially coming in, you know, a lot in London, where you have those tabloids that always talk about it. But it's when you start something from a very young age and you do it for long periods of your career. It's tough to be 25 years old, and when you start playing tennis at the age of 4, to say it's almost like changing your forehand or changing your backhand. So you're used to something, but I think if you start correcting it from a young age, especially, you know, maybe telling the coaches around the world, using breathing techniques and doing all of those things that you work on when you're from a young age, then that's something that will carry over to your professional career.
So for you, grunting stands.
Yeah.
Grunting stands.
Right now, yes.
And I heard, Maria, that you just got engaged. Can we say congratulations? You're breaking a lot of hearts.
It's been a while.
You're breaking a lot of hearts. I'm not asking anything about him. I just want to know, how did you know he was the one for you?
Oh, gosh.
How did you know that?
I don't think, you know, you never expect it to happen. I think those things kind of flow in your life, and you realize that it's a time in your life to do such a thing, or those feelings that you have. You know, obviously, as you go through your life, I mean, I I had this incredible career from a very young age, and then you start realizing that there's this whole other side to life, which is hopefully, which is being married one day and having children. I mean, my mother had me when she was so young, so it's fun to see that relationship with her and thinking that, I mean, I've missed that train. I mean, she had me when she was 20, so I'm old by now.
Can you imagine having a baby at 20?
I can't. In
I
my
can't
life,
either.
I can't.
No,
I can't.
me
But
neither.
but I'm very fortunate that she did, because now I mean, she's my best friend. So.
Look at you.
Yeah.
And she has a new business, Jack.
You do, yeah. One of the reasons you're here is because you're starting this candy company.
Candy line.
Actually today.
Yes.
So a lot of people might ask, why is an athlete promoting sugar?
I know, right? Well, because I feel like everyone needs a treat, and everyone loves candy around the world. And I mean, the first thing is, I mean, I work so many hours a day, just like everybody else, and I don't have an office job, but I know what it takes to maintain a healthy lifestyle, to go to the gym, to work out, to make sure, you know, we're also women. We want to make sure we look good and we have a good presence and a look. But at the end of the day, everybody needs a treat. You know, when I was young, I was growing up, I would finish practice, and the first thing I'd ask if I was practicing good is, when can I get that lollipop?
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
and that was on my mind during practice. So, and I've been part of so many great adventures and so many great partnerships, and I wanted to start something that was my own. And I loved candy, I loved gummies, and I thought, and when the name Sugarpova came about, I thought this was something I really wanted
Hey,
to
it kind
own.
of goes together, Sugarpova.
Right, a little bit.
And your
yeah.
favorite flavor?
My
Then we'll
favorite
go.
flavor is this rainbow licorice that has a marshmallow middle called Quirky. Yes, so
I know
that's
they've
my
all got
favorite.
catchy names.
They've all got,
Sugarpova.
yeah, and then they're chic, and
Does Maria Sharapova win the U.S. Open this year?
that's the $1,000,000 question, isn't it? I sure hope so. That's what I'm working for, and I have been, and I would love to be the champion again there.
Can't wait to see you on the court.
Good to
Thank
see
you,
you.
Thank you.
Maria.
Thank you very much.
Continued success.
Thank you.